Hello family, my name is Majesty Ocean and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about light language, how it has significantly changed my life and really allowed me to continue to remove the blockages within my throat chakra. When I first heard about light language, it was actually in another term some of you may know as tongues. And I grew up listening to my mom speak it, so I was around this from quite a bit of a while since I was a child. And I never really knew what it was. No one really discussed about it, but I knew that it was just a type of language that was used for healing. And my dad as well also speaks tongues, and he used to use it as like prayers and really tap into his light language when he was trying to heal either someone or himself. And I always just really set the intention of, wow, I really want to tap into this language. I want to be able to speak it. And it was right around the time I was going through a very big awakening where I had set these intentions and I was like, I want to break through this. I want to be able to speak it. And just around the time as when I was really stepping into this identity of Majesty Ocean, this was when I was living in LA right before I moved to Bali, and I was in my studio at the time that I had moved into. It was so beautiful. I was so happy to have my space, and I was going through just so much internal healing, so much trauma, and I just remember crying and releasing all of this stuff, and I had just laid down on the floor, and a voice, which I believe was my higher self, really just spoke to me and told me to speak. And that's when I just started really like expressing this new language, and it felt like a language of the ancestors, a language of healing, a language of power, of resurrection. This is the language that I resonated by, and definitely has been so amazing to continue to tap into the truth and to the power of really activating that light language. And it's funny, I was actually in Bali and I was living in Uluwatu, and I was literally like just tanning right in front of the ocean while I was at my house, and my mom sends me this video on YouTube. She goes, wow, they call it light language. And I literally like something just clicked, and I'm like, wow, like yes, this is what it is, light language. It just resonated so much more than calling it tongues, which I know other cultures and religions use as well, but this kind of felt more refreshing for me. Something that I can call it to really represent the feeling of it. And it has allowed me to break through so much different trauma. In the beginning of my journey of expressing my light language, it was connected to a lot of trauma and to a lot of healing. And almost the very, very beginning of the moments where I would speak my light language, it would always be in a release, me just crying and not being able to control it. It was just almost like coming out, and I felt like if that was needed, right? It was a part of my journey where I was just tapping into this new identity, this new power. So it was hard for me to really stay in my power. We had just moved to Bali. This is probably my first month there, and we're living in Canggu in this beautiful home, the most beautiful home that I had ever lived in at the time. And it was just me and a couple other of my friends at the house, and I remember we had ended up doing some mushrooms and went on an amazing journey, and it was almost like the most transformative moments because I really was able to witness life. There was no time, and it was almost like a completely different portal that had been opened, and the energy that we were able to tap in was truly, truly magnificent. My friend Saint was going to guide us through a meditation. So we were sitting on the porch in the backyard, and we were about to meditate, and the light language ended up being activated. But I was crying and I was releasing so much, and my friend just told me, like, stay in your power. And as soon as he told me that, something just clicked. And ever since then, I was able to speak of my light language in power. There had been no more releasing, no more crying. Like, I finally was able to tap into the fullness of what this new method of expressing really meant, and really diving into the power of this beautiful language. I definitely believe that all people can tap into it. It is just a matter of you setting those intentions and understanding that there are going to be different levels of yourself that you are going to need to break through to be able to tap into this new identity, just as it is with everything else in our life. And that's actually something that I've really been reflecting on, is like, wow, if I'm beginning to call in new things in my life, and essentially these things that I'm calling in are bigger, they're bigger visions, then there's gonna be a different version of myself that needs to show up and step into that new identity, that new way of being. Come into alignment with that new creation, but are calling in. So if anyone out there is trying to call into their own light language, then I suggest that you learn about it. You know, I ended up doing so much research on YouTube University, of course, about light language, and it really gave me so many different perspectives on how this can really be used for self-healing, for affirming, and being able to tap into your guides and your ancestors, and the power that we truly have in this lifetime to really tap into. I definitely suggest that you set your intentions, meditate on it, allow yourself to really just flow, and when the time is right, know that the light language will meet you. Thank you so much, family, for tuning in. It's always such a blessing to be able to express myself to you, with hopes that you resonate with the things that I have to share. Don't forget to subscribe in the link. Share this video to anyone who wants to also tap into light language, or just because you find it kind of interesting, right? A magical, ancestral, multi-dimensional language that we can truly tap into in this present moment. So thank you so much, family. Love you so much. Catch you next time. And yeah, talk to you soon.